Cool. All right. Well, welcome to everybody. Another Sunday, and we're here with our guest Black Hero coming in live from Jamaica, and we've got a great session. Black Hero is on 3 new tracks with UB40 on the new album coming this year, Bigga Baggariddim. And the guys are just starting to join us. How you doing, Jim?
How are we doing?
All right, mate.
I'm good. Thank you very much. I'm just looking for my background. Hang on a second.
How's Black Hero? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Like as I said, this is like a surreal moment. I'm actually talking to the members of the legendary UB40. So that's for a young artist like me. You can't imagine like what's going through my mind right now. So I'm just happy. I'm elated.
Amazing. Well, this is the thing, as they start to get older, then they forget to do things like choose their background in Zoom, that kind of thing. So there
we go.
Where are you, Jim?
Well, okay. I just thought I'd say I've been doing a bit of gardening, and this is the result. I've been in the garden all day, and look at that. Is that beautiful or what?
You've always liked to keep your bush trimmed, though, haven't you, Jim?
Absolutely, yes. I do like a good trimmed bush. That's very true, yeah. And I think I could, quite honestly, after being a musician, I might get a job as a topiarist.
Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'll tell you what, there's big call for them these days. So, Black Hero, how you doing, man?
I'm just listening. That job sounds like exquisite, like a good let me ease kind of vibe.
Where are you calling from?
Right from the heart of Jamaica in this hot Kingston sun. Like
yes. You're lucky man.
It's cold over there right now. Where you're at?
It's been. Go on, Jim. He's saying it's cold. It's cold today. It's not. It's quite warm actually.
Yeah, no, I mean. You don't need a coat today, so it's not bad, is it?
It's not bad. Right.
It's not bad, yeah. England is beautiful in the summer. When we have good summers, England's beautiful, but it doesn't happen very often. So that's why people want to come to where you live to enjoy a good environment. So.
Well, maybe not now anymore because the quarantine testings are kind of crazy at this point.
Yeah, how is it on the island with the virus?
We handled it pretty well. Like it didn't go crazy. Like we're actually not reporting any new cases at all. So we're basically recovered all of our cases. So right now, what they're doing is just slowly opening up the country. So, because tourism is our main, that's our bread and butter. So it's
exactly.
hard to survive without that. So they're opening up and just have a quarantine time of 14 days. So I think everybody just has to factor that in now. Like when you're coming here, you'll have to spend 14 days in your hotel room or before you can go out.
Right.
But that's why we're doing this tonight, though, Jimmy, because we recognise that nobody can travel. So we're going to transport people musically to Jamaica this evening. With some amazing music from Black Hero. So for all those people watching on social media channels, then you know the drill by now. We've got 20 minutes. So by 7:20, those streams are going to cut off and everybody needs to get across to the UB40 app where we'll continue for as long as we need to, because we've got some really good songs. We've got 3 samples of unheard tracks from the Bigga Baggariddim album, obviously featuring Black Hero. And we got Robin in the house.
Hey. Hey. Guys. Technical problems. I'm such a Luddite with this thing. I have to keep rebooting it just to get my camera to come on.
Think a new iPhone for Christmas.
It's not an iPhone, mate. It's a laptop.
Oh, well, one of them as well.
Yeah, I don't have a phone. How about that? I'm the only person I know.
Talking of Luddites.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Black Hero.
Hey, what's up?
All right, man. How are you?
Doing good. Just as I said, I'm in this moment right now and I'm here for the journey. Let's do this.
Great stuff.
Let's talk about some music. Let's talk about Baggariddim and Bigga Baggariddim. H3RO, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but in 1985, probably a long time before you were born, UB40 did an album called Baggariddim, which was UB40 tracks pretty much from a previous album, and they were given to other artists so very, very similar to what you're doing now on Bigga Baggariddim.
Okay.
So we won't expect you to know that album, given it's so long ago.
Well, I do, because when we did the dub, we did the feature on the dub album, I really started to dive very heavily into UB40's catalog, because to be honest, my mom only really paid me like red wine, and like she used to play music when I was in her belly, so I was like, I knew I absorbed that. But going back now, I realized you guys had an album version of just people just ripping off the original tracks. So it's like, I was aware of it, yeah. But I didn't know you guys were coming with it now. So that's a big surprise.
Well, the whole idea was that Baggariddim, the original, was a much more local idea. It was using local artists. I think all of them were from Birmingham. Pato Banton and the other guys we're all Birmingham artists. And we called that Baggariddim. And this idea was to go more international, which is why it became Bigga Baggariddim.
Straight. More people from within the culture than just a space.
Yeah.
I like that.
And also, Robin, we were talking earlier, and have you done more than 4 collaborations with any other artist previously? Because with Black H3RO, we've got the dub track and 3 tracks on Bigga Baggariddim, and I'm just thinking, is that a record?
4, probably.
Yeah,
probably.
Hey,
I think
we've done good tunes. You don't want to waste them.
Yeah. It's not by design. It's just because the stuff you returned to us was so good, we wanted to use it all, And then he got on the dub album as well. So yeah, it becomes, I don't know, maybe House of Shem equals it. We must have used.
Yeah,
they've got 3 tracks on Bigga Baggariddim as well.
But they haven't got a dub album track.
There's nothing on the dub album.
No.
Your fault, Jimmy. Yeah.
Hey, I'm somewhere in history with the legendary UB40. I'm there.
I think we worked with Pato on a few tracks, haven't we? And then we did the Baby Come Back as well. But I don't think anybody has got 4 tracks.
4 tracks.
Breaking records in lockdown.
Record breaking, and it hasn't even dropped as it. That's crazy.
Well, so the intention is, Robin, I was just saying when you came in that we'll do the 20 minutes of streaming on social media, then it'll kick over to the app. But I know that Matty's got lined up 3 exclusives, which are the 3 tracks with Black H3RO from Bigga Baggariddim. So
I need to get one of them in before the 20 minutes is up.
All right, Jimmy, whose show is this?
Come on, hurry up with that.
We're going to kick off with one of Black H3RO's new tunes, which is Young Boss. So I don't know if you want to give us a little bit of a background story to that and an intro,
All right, well, this song titled Young Boss is featuring me and a young artist from Jamaica called Wayne J. He's been doing this from he's like 8, 9 and has been steadily building in Jamaica, going viral with a lot of tracks. But this particular track now, we came together like the youths are only hearing one specific thing in Jamaica. Like, it's not like about just getting money or getting women or specific things like that. So we wanted to just open up the field and have young youth saying, I'm a young G, young boss, more entrepreneur, more business. So that was the energy for this track.
Come on. Okay.
Play the tune.
Let's have a listen.
Yes, sir. Still bang, 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 bang. Hey, hey, all them a try, them can't deny. Young boss, nation, youths are free. Young boss, young boss, is there? The young boss, they in here now. Give me way, make me burn up every stage show. We make the place, if we turn up every radio. We in GSF, we go check your ratio. Like he run away, you can't roll. I listen, I see, I make we name go up. Move, No ramp with me paper, that's a danger.
I'm a young G, young boss, new millennium. Enough money run, girl I run me down, touchdown. Clocks on the ground, and we are run the ground. I'm a young G, young boss, new millennium. Enough money run, girl I run me down, touchdown. Clocks on the ground, and we are run the ground. So turn it down.
The latest style, my brain is quite severe. It's like the place igniting time to hear my voice, so no prepare for nice. I be A side and be rejoice, the greatest rhyme, no day my life. Y'all have to wind them waist, no waste my time, waste my time. The young boss, they in here now. Give me way, make me burn up every stage show. We make the place off, it turn up every radio. Yes, sir.
All them a try, them can't deny. Don't cross the line, you pay the price. Now we take flights and modernize. Family alright. I'm a young G, young boss, new millennium. Enough money run, girl I run me down, touchdown. Clocks on the ground, and we are run the ground. I'm a young G, young boss, new millennium. Enough money run, girl I run me down, touchdown. Clocks on the ground, and we are run the ground. So turn it. I saw me charge up me crankshank, so me blast off. See them on the bypass when me fly past. Permitting a million of me white shots. Roll living like when Jesus I carry cross. All them a try, them can't deny. Youths have to rise, open your eyes. Now we take flights and modernize. My friends, them alright. I'm a young G, young boss,
young boss.
Millennium, enough money run, girl I run me down,
yes,
touchdown. Clocks on the ground, and we are run the ground. I'm a young G, young boss, new millennium. Enough money run, girl I run me down, touchdown. Clocks on the ground, and we are run the ground. So turn it down. Hey yo, Bob.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Jagger van the ground. Black hero. All them a try, them
young
can't
boss.
deny. Youths have to rise.
Young
when
boss.
they catch them by surprise. Whoa.
Yes, sir.
That actually was a very wicked sneak peek, because that's actually the remix for that song with one of the hottest artists in Jamaica right now. His name is Skilly Ben. So that was actually, I wasn't expecting that. That's somebody sent you a sneak preview. That's dope.
We like to keep people on the toes, you see.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to call like Skilly right now and be like, yo, just play for UB40, bro. Like, come on. Like, price is going up. Like,
it's interesting, and I think you'll get a big following from UB40's audience, because I think they'll really tune into your music. And also, I think whilst I was doing research, since I heard the guys were recording with you, like you've got a real eclectic mix of music that you produce. It's not just one style of reggae. I mean, it's really diverse. How did that come about?
Well, I was going to say, sorry, just getting in there. I was going to say there's a nice little R&B kind of groove going on in that tune.
Yeah,
it was nice. Yeah.
Cool. All right. I think the cause of just this nice gumbo or blend of sounds is thanks to one such as yourself, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Nina Simone, Fela Kuti. Like just all that music that my mom just gave me on this little Walkman I had. I was always listening to these. There's just that eclecticness, because the reggae that especially UB40 produces, like for example, my favorite song, Food for Thought, is very poetic. It's very different. The delivery is like almost not reggae, but the rhythm is just like carrying it there. So I feel like I just naturally just absorbed all of that, and it was like saved in a hard drive somewhere. So when it's like I became a musician, it's just happening naturally. I'm not even thinking about it. It's just like all the influence is just there. Like I don't even know at this point what it is, but it's definitely reggae and dancehall, but with a soulful touch. Isn't it? I definitely feel there's a more soulful energy to what I do.
I can see, Robin, I can see you nodding there, and also Heroes mentioned Stevie Wonder, which I know was a big inspiration for you as well.
I was just nodding because it's only natural, I mean, the reason we sound different to every other reggae artist is because we're from England, because we've absorbed all other kinds of music as well. I mean, we love and worship reggae and always have done, and all we ever wanted to be was a reggae band. But the other influences that are there, even subconsciously, because you listen to Top of the Pops every week, or Radio 1, all those influences you're getting, you filter them through and it comes out in what you do. And like you were just saying about our melodies, you know, the delivery, it's not
very different.
It's not traditional reggae, of course not, because we're influenced by people like Stevie and all sorts of other music as well, plus English pop music. Even without thinking about it, we're influenced by all of those things. Sam Cooke, you know, just all sorts of stuff, you know, because we've been listening a long time. So you take all these things in and you filter them, and what you produce is something different, and hopefully it's unique and it's something that gives you a sound that no one else has.
Yeah, I think journalists talk about and music critics talk about being purist, but in the end, the people that make the music, you can't help but filter those influences. You know people who are making the music aren't so precious about purity as
absolutely not. Every reggae artist I've ever spoken to, they all talk about American R&B because that's what they grew up listening to, you know. And I mean, John Holt was listening to the Beatles, you know. I mean, there are all sorts of different things that are filtering in to what people produce. And of course, the only people talking about purity are journalists.
Yeah, non-musicians.
Musicians listen to good music, simple as that.
And what would John Holt say to these journalists?
What
would John Holt say to these journalists?
Same thing.
He'd say, let it be.
Oh, God.
Can you stop that?
I've got to get at least once a week, Jimmy. Give me...
Once.
All right. So,
I think it was the Beatles that said that first.
Oh, it was actually. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think so.
Speaking of songs like that, because UB40 have covered some Beatles tracks, a few, but also a track that Black Hero and UB40 have both done a cover of is "Superstition" by Stevie Wonder. So there's a bit of trivia for you.
Yeah, I bet his version was better than ours.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I haven't heard the UB40 version, so I have some research to do.
No, mate.
Don't bother.
Yeah, forget it.
It was a bit of a misfire, that one.
But you know, another thing about reggae music as well, it's an international thing now. It's traveled. It's like the English language. Isn't not owned by the English anymore because it's an international language. People speak English everywhere, but people play reggae everywhere as well. You know, like we've got House of Shem in New Zealand, all along the islands in the Pacific. They love reggae. They've adopted reggae as the music of their personal expression. You know, so it changes as it goes around the world.
I don't think there's an island anywhere on the globe that doesn't love reggae. They all think they own reggae. They know it come from Jamaica, but they all love reggae. It's an island music, you know. Every island race, every island people, they love their reggae, don't they? Every island we've ever been to, whether it's in the Caribbean or the South Pacific, you know, or the other side of Australia, they're still listening to reggae and they're loving it. All the Maori peoples everywhere.
Well, it's like you were saying as well, Jim, about how it's, you know, international. Again, the Bigga Baggariddim illustrates that perfectly, doesn't it? That, you know,
that's the point, wasn't it?
Yeah, the spread, you know, and you know, the fact that we've got a track from an Indian reggae outfit,
the Reggae Rajas,
which is just, you know, the album. There's such a mix, isn't there? Like you're saying, it really does have just a international flavour.
And another thing about Black Hero's music, it's quite sweet, so it's accessible. You know, it's not roughneck. I mean, it is in attitude, but the sound of it is really sweet. You know, you have a really sweet voice, and I think that
it even frightened me how much they accepted. Like, for example, Jamaica. Like, I didn't expect Superstition to be playing on the radio out there, especially my version, because they don't normally play the regular one. So I'm just like, all right, my little jazzed out reggae version probably won't get played, but they accept it. They accept the music I make. I don't know why, but I think it's just me. So they're like, yo, it's not fake, and I can, you know what I mean? I don't know. I really don't know, but they accept it, and I'm really grateful for that, because I'm not trying to be anything or do anything special.
Hero.
Robin, just before you go on, Robin, the stream's going to cut from the social media channels. So for everybody who wants to continue, and I'm sure they do, jump over to UB40's app, and we can we'll see you there. Over to you, Rob.
I was just going to say, there's one very simple reason why they're playing it, man. It's because it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Simple.
Straight.
Excellent. So we're gonna get onto Bigga Baggariddim in a second, but I wanted to ask Black Hero how you got into the music business. You've mentioned that you listen to a lot of your mum's music, but what was the break for you to actually decide I'm in the business?
To do music. All right. So there's the moment you plant, the seed is planted, and then there's the moment where it starts to grow. So the seed was planted from church. Jamaica, we have the most churches per square mile or some shit like that. So it's you go to Sunday school, you go to Sunday that. So I wasn't really interested in church, but then my mom said, you better find something to be interested in. I'm not leaving you to go over berries. I was like, all right, let me sit at the front and just watch the drummer. I was always just watching the drummer, watching him every day until they called me up to start playing. And I went into the music department, still using this as just a thing to pass time. So fast forward now, leaving that, going into the working where I wasn't feeling satisfied, wasn't feeling like my purpose was being fulfilled, still didn't want to be a musician. It wasn't even in my mind. And then one day it's just I met this producer. His name was Capone, and I've never met a producer who makes beats and stuff like that. So when I met him, and I just started freestyling, I didn't even know what freestyling was. I was just doing something, and everybody was like, yo, oh my God. And that was when it started to grow. And then the final nail in the coffin was when I did a show at the University of the West Indies alongside Barris and Beanie Man and Chronix and Capleton and Sizzla and everybody, every giant you could think about was at this little free show at UE. And I had a set. And at the end of the night, I was the talking point amongst all of these legends. Everybody, I brought up Protege on that show. I just did so much things that night. I was just like, wow, this has to be it. And then from that moment, from 2016 till now, I've just been going and just been giving myself onto the music because I really love it. So that was the start, from church to meeting that fatal moment with the producer, and then that show. It just kind of sealed everything.
Awesome.
Great story. Well, you've got a fresh sound, and I think that will stick out. In a bill of traditional sounding music, your fresh sound will get people's attention.
Especially kids. Kids are going to tune into it because it's new.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's obviously got UB40's attention as well, and this is a question both for Hero and for Matty. In as much as how did it come about, Black Hero getting involved with this project?
Well, it was, the guys have been talking about doing this album, doing Bigga Baggariddim, and, the whole idea of it really. And so, I was, as I do anyway, I always keep my ear to the ground of what is, what's around and what's going on. And one day I stumbled upon the one extra cipher which Tad Latte had done, and there was Black Hero, Leela Ike, Shensia, and Leno Banton. And I was I thought everyone was interesting. Everyone had their own styles, but really, Black Hero and Leno really stuck out to me, with their delivery and everything. And again, that was a freestyle. So it just, and again, I don't know, just kind of the way you were changing gear with the whole way that you were, you were delivering. And I just thought, this guy's really interesting, man. Let's see if he wants to get involved. And I remember playing the stuff to the band as well and saying, check this guy out. And they were like, get onto it. Do you know what I mean? Get him ready. And, and then when the stuff came through, that was a completely different thing. That was, I don't know. My dad sometimes talks about when the hairs stand up on his arm and all that. That's how it was when I was listening to them demos. When they came back, I was sat in my office. It was late at night, and I heard them, and I was just like, "Wow, this is something really interesting."
We can play one.
Yeah, if we can.
I didn't know that part of the story either, so that was really good to hear, because my end of the story was just an email. My life just changed with the email, so but that was really dope to hear. Like,
what we are going to play one in just a second, Jimmy, but I just want to catch Hero's side of the story, so you get the email and.
All right, yeah, because I have to really capture this energy and this excitement, because anything that happens to me or to anybody in the team, we call each other instantly. So, boom, the email reached, and then Brian just hit me up. I'm like, no, UB40 just no, I think it was a message first. I think it was
Twitter, innit? Didn't I tweet you first?
Twitter. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then I was like, Matt from UB40 hit me up or something like that. But at first, I'm skeptical. So I'm like, I wonder if this is like a trick. Is somebody pranking me? Like, what's going on? So then I was like, let's follow it through and see what happens. And then like, that's when it led to me introducing Brian into the conversation or email and just connecting up with Matt. And then like, it was real. And then they sent me a body of rhythms, and it's like, say pick one. But me being the workaholic I am and just loving more than one rhythm, I was like, I don't know which one they're gonna like. I don't know which one they're gonna choose. But if they're gonna pick one, it's gonna be one out of four. It's not gonna be one out of one. Like, you get me? So I just went in, and I genuinely love the beats. I don't do anything forced. So what you heard was me just being real. Like, the rhythms really spoke to me. They were big. They were also fresh too. They felt like even though and like a more foundation crowd could listen to it, a younger youth in my age bracket could pick it up and be like, wow, this is fresh still, isn't me? So I did them, and then I genuinely thought it was only one that was gonna be used like on the dub album with Pablo. But then we're here now finding out the other trees there. So it's like, I guess it worked out. So that was my story. My half of it was pure excitement, pure joy. All of us just on the phone like, yes, like, oh my God. Like, and just living. We try to enjoy every moment, the good, the bad. So when it comes, we just enjoy it, put in the work and just hope it came through,
Awesome. Well, we're going to welcome Gilly, first of all. Evening, Mr. Gilbert.
I'm sorry I'm late, but I could have found the link, man. You know what I mean? I had afternoon now. I couldn't find my ruler, Robin.
Evening, Gilly G.
Good evening, everybody.
All right, Gilbert.
Nice
what have I missed?
Nice you could make it.
Well, I like to make an entrance.
It's fashionably late.
Exactly. He stepped in with the hat all on the side, like, yeah, I'm about to step in.
But Hero, let this be a warning to you. If, the more you do with UB40, they end up taking you on tour, and then they get you involved every Sunday, just like Gilly. So there's a warning, be careful. So let's, Matty, if you've got it lined up, and because Jimmy keeps asking, let's play Gravy Train. Let's play Black Hero's version of Gravy Train.
Yeah. And I think, another thing that should be said about it is obviously this tune, the version that you've done the backing track on, it's actually a track that Jimmy wrote for the album. And again, was a great track, man. And and then to for your version on top as well, it's just like, it's just
completely different take on it. Completely different.
Yeah.
We love it.
I'm glad I didn't get to hear the versions before, because maybe they would have affected what I did. So yeah, I want to hear it. I haven't heard them in a while. So.
Let's do it.
Gravy train is coming. Oh yes, it's coming. That gravy train now. Oh yes, it's coming. That gravy train now. Admission is free for all the niggas who never pop style and stay humble like a child. Entry is free, free for everyone who's been tuning in the hustle now. Yeah, cause let me tickets can't come by out. No more, no RSVP, no debut. I said just stay by your path and don't lose your heart. Oh yes, it's coming right down the track. Oh yes, it's coming, the gravy train is coming. Oh yes, it's coming, that gravy train now. Oh yes, it's coming, that gravy train.
Awesome. Jimmy, just unmute yourself, Jimmy. I have a question for you on that one, because really, that's the song that you brought to the band. How do you feel when you hear something completely different to perhaps what you had in mind initially playing out in front of your ears?
Well, I mean, I like it because in the end, we had the backing track first before we even put the song on it. Yeah. So that backing track is, I feel as much attached to the backing track as I do the song itself. So to hear something else coming from that same backing track, it's just really nice, because it's just great to hear somebody come at it from a different perspective completely. I enjoyed listening to it. It's great.
Awesome. And what about for yourself, Rob? I mean, obviously choosing, you've told me before that it's a no-brainer to choose the 3 tracks that Hero's done. But what about you hearing that one?
Well, it was just the quality of all of them, I mean, how the hell could you pick one of those tracks? They were all so good. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass, you know what I mean? I mean it. The tracks we got back were all so good. There was no way we could pick one. I mean, it was exactly the same with House of Shem, the guys from New Zealand, We sent them 3 or 4 tracks and said, pick one. And they did the same as you. They sent us a song back on every track, And again, we couldn't choose one from the other. So we ended up putting 3 of theirs on. And, it was the same with you. It was the quality and the difference as well. They're all completely different tracks. There's no one style, I mean, Leno Banton, he sent us 1 track back, and the track he sent us back was wicked, and we loved it, so we used it. But if he'd have sent us 3, maybe we'd have used 3 of his, There's just no knowing. But he only sent us the 1 back. He did what we told him to do. He picked one and he did a track, and it was wicked. I love Leno's track, but I love all 3 of yours, man. It's just.
He seems like he's a hero. He seems like he's a friend of yours, Leno Banton. Do you go back a while?
Yeah, about 3-4 years now. Like, I met him through the music, so it was like I met him without even knowing he was Buru Banton's son. So that good fun fact just came after, with just like an icing on the cake. Like, oh, you're from a lineage of great musicians. So all right, let's do this. Like, I just reached out to him. Everybody will tell you in my space, like, I have so much colors because I'm not afraid to jump in the DMs. I don't care how much followers you have. One day you're gonna see this message and you're gonna like, oh, okay, wants a collab, and it's gonna be dope music. So with me and him, it was just a message. I'm like, yo, I hear your voice on this track I'm doing called Skydive. What you saying? He was like, yeah, let's just do it. And at that time, I was working for this radio station called Hot 102. So we met there, recorded at the station, and just put it out. And yeah, it did what it did. So he's a close friend of mine. We linked up the other day. Like,
and did you both realize that you were working on this UB40 project simultaneously, or was it a surprise to you when you found out?
Well, we reasoned about certain things. So he's like, yo, UB40 reach out to you. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, how do you know this? Yes. I was like, yeah. And then he was like, yeah, can you link me to? I'm like, oh, that means they linked everybody from the session. That was in my mind. So I'm like, oh, we're gonna have a UB40 sense here. Ooh, maybe who knows? But when he said it to me, I'm like, damn, that's dope, because not only do we have a song together, not only do we have songs individually, but now it's not a simple thing to be noticed by real legends in the game. What I mean by real legends, there are people that they're legends on the blogs, but to put in real work, for me to go on YouTube and I can find endless videos of UB40 performing music videos, documentaries. This is ridiculous. So I was just saying to Lena, yo, I did like 4, so you should do like every one of them. And he's like, but the ones still. It's like, all right, cool. So that was the vibe. But it was just a beautiful thing to see. Like, we were there, and then like the media picked it up instantly. I was like, yo, Black Hero and then the Banton on the UB40. I was like, oh, so it's real out here. So yeah, that was a good moment.
Wait, do you just wait until it's released?
yeah, and me.
Yeah, and you, Jimmy. Yeah. Awesome. So should we have a listen to another one, Matt? Because we're gonna listen to All Right.
Yeah, I'm all right. Which again is on I'm all right, Jack, isn't it? Which is a track that Duncan wrote. Does anyone else want to talk about it?
My favourite track.
Yeah, go on then, Jim.
It is my favourite track on the album, actually. I really like it. Really sweet. And it's got a real old school sound, which I really like.
Yeah. But the rhythm was really like, you guys took this out of like a locker, like an ancient, like, like cell, like, or safe. Like that beat sounds very like the beginning of music. Like it sounded very.
That's because we're dinosaurs.
Yeah. Because we're old. We remember it.
But from a lyrical.
Yeah, because we come from the beginning of music.
Yeah. Like the beginning of electricity.
That's the truth.
Talking about the lyrical content of that song, I'm All Right, Jack. Jimmy, I'm wondering if you could just give maybe a 30-second synopsis of what that lyrical content is about, and perhaps Black Hero could do the same, because you're both writing on top of Duncan in this case, but you can represent Duncan if you want for 30 seconds. Coming from probably very different places, different age groups, perhaps different political views, etc. But
it's a universal message, though, isn't it? It's just, you've got people saying "I'm all right, Jack" in every country in the world. People who they're doing okay, so they don't really give a damn about anybody else, as long as they're okay. And that has been, as long as I've been alive, people have been like that, and it's so universal that it's just a basic. It doesn't matter what your politics is, really. In the end, it's it's about selfish people who vote on their own interests, and never consider anybody else.
And it's not far in content. It's not that different to Gravy Train, is it?
Absolutely, yeah.
It's a similar subject,
it's the haves and have-nots, isn't it? And that's what it's all about.
Whatever happened to the have-nots?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you guys are good. You guys are good. So Hero, you get this track through. Obviously, you're aware that it's called "I'm All Right, Jack." But then, what thought process do you have around that in terms of building your lyrical content into it?
Well, you didn't have the song, did you, Hero?
No, I didn't have the song.
You just had the rhythm and the title.
Yeah. So I was like, all right. When I heard it at first, I was in the studio with my engineer Shatta Biggs, and instantly as he heard it, he was like, man, I feel so good right now. Like this rhythm makes me feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulder. And then I'm just like, all right, we're just gonna do that. We're just gonna go into that energy of just whenever they play this song, it should be a moment of relaxation. It should be like, so my perspective was actually from a place of comfort. So hearing what you guys had on it original, like if I really heard the songs from before, it definitely would have been different. So I'm glad we have like parallels, but in essence, like a selfish person could still listen to this song and just be like, yeah, I'm good. Anyways, so it works both ways, I think. Like it can be a song for a selfish person or for somebody that just wants a moment of like relaxation. Like, yeah, I like
it.
But I think Kyoko said a similar thing when we were speaking with Matt a few weeks ago, and he was saying that they got the track to "You Haven't Called," that only the title and only the music, and the sort of thing. You wonder how close we're going to get to the message that UB40 is sending out, So I think it's an interesting way to do it.
That was actually quite similar in the end, because that was a love song, and that's what Kyoko did as well. But I think what our approach can be sometimes is the music can be sweet and nice, but the message in the words is quite aggressive, and we do tend to do that, where something sounds like we're being nice, but we're not really being nice.
The iron fist in the velvet glove.
In the velvet glove, yeah.
Jimmy, I'm trying to work out, is that your chair or is that just a weird shadow?
That's my chair, look.
Okay.
We're trying to figure it out too for the last couple minutes. I'm not gonna lie.
You think I was like a hunchback or something?
Yeah, man, it was just freaking me out,
Sorry.
But I just woke up, don't mind me.
Oh, right.
I'm blind as a bat kid.
Gilly, don't start telling us what you've had to eat, for Christ's sake.
No, I won't. I haven't had it yet.
Right then, should we roll with the track then, guys?
I'm all right.
Right, I'm alright. I'm alright. Long as Jah is by my side, I'm alright. Yeah. I'm alright. I'm alright. Long as Jah is by my side. When times I don't know, and times when I can smile.
Oh man, Robin's
too short. I was just getting into it then. I could see Hero was loving it. You're still muted, man.
Yo, man, that fade out hurt me just now.
Yeah, that me. That me. Don't do that again.
It has the horns. I'm loving it. It's nice.
That's such a sweet tune. It sounds really old school, really like something could have come from the 60s almost. And it's just really sweet. What can I say? It's my favourite tune on the album.
Yeah, it's wicked.
Rob, I remember when it's probably 18 months, maybe 2 years ago now, when I first heard any song from either For the Many or Bigga Baggariddim, and that was the first one you chose to play to me. I remember it specifically. So, that must say something.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the only one I had at the time.
It's not only good, but he works fast. Brilliant.
No, is this the first time you've heard these final mixes, Hero?
First.
Wow.
First.
Oh, we could have done with a bit more of that then.
Because the horns just now kind of blew me away because there weren't any horns in the version I got. So when I heard the horns in the beginning, I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be a nice little check right here.
You should send him send him the final version, Matt.
Yeah, of course, man. Of course.
Come on, Matt. What about another 20 seconds?
I didn't realise you hadn't heard them.
Now this might be my favorite because the Have Nots one, I really am a huge fan of the BLVK Baggariddim. So it's like,
should we
but
go?
This one now is sounding really sweet.
Yeah, very sweet, very, very sweet. That's why I like it.
Matt, should we go straight on and play What Happened to the Have Nots? Because that's just gonna, it's really gonna show the variation of music output,
Yeah, of course.
A bit longer this time.
Very different.
All right.
And that's to the backing track of Whatever Happened to UB40, or what
That's
happened.
one, yeah.
In comes one called Black Hero. And this is a question for the world leaders there. Yeah. What's gonna happen to me? What's gonna happen to me? What's gonna happen to me? I say, what happened to the have-nots? I don't see us in the plans. They've gotten Babylon. What's gonna happen to me? What's gonna happen to me? What's gonna happen to me? I say, what happened to the have-nots? I don't see us in the plans. They've gotten What happened to the black child? Those who've been disenfranchised, all rise from the north, the west, the east, even the south side. Economic landslide, civil unrest and uprise. Signs that the people have been left out for a long time. What's gonna happen to the ghetto? A question we ask to all those who pull the strings strings like Gepetto. Oh, what's gonna happen today? What's gonna happen today? What's gonna happen today? I say, what happened to the young nights? I don't see us in the plans. They've done, yeah. What's gonna happen today? What's gonna happen today? What's gonna happen today? I say, what happened to the young nights? I don't see us in the plans they've done. Okay, alright then, since you're playing dumb, tell me how the guns reaching at Jaja Kingdom. Okay, alright then, since you're acting coy, where everything you built is meant to kill and destroy. When my mind on the iron that live it inside, on my temple where they ain't.
You have to everybody unmute themselves and then you can complain.
Stop finding them.
What's getting into that then? Not sure, like that.
The best thing about this, because obviously we've heard them 1,000 times, it's great just watching Hero's face, man.
I'm glad I didn't hear them until now. The mixes are pretty good. Like, I'm really picky, so when I hear it, I'm like, yo. Bad.
We worked hard on them tunes, man. And I mean, we slightly rearranged stuff and we messed with it, you know, but yeah, we worked hard on them.
Really
tried to give them everything they were due.
The whole album is finished?
Yeah.
The entire album is finished?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Yeah, there's 15 tracks in total on Bigga Baggariddim. So there's quite a few interesting versions, man.
And it's very eclectic. I mean, you know, obviously there's new young artists, Jamaican artists like you and like Leno, but there's also, we got Inner Circle have done a track. Who, you know, Inner Circle have been around even longer than we have. And and then you've got, you know, people from all over the world, plus a few British artists as well, you know. It's going to be...
Can we play any of the other tracks?
The Indian artists. I think
No.
We have to. We're saving the other artists for another night.
That actually, Robin, as just to mention it whilst it's on the tip of my tongue, is that next week we're trying to line up the original Mr. Fix-It, Winston Francis.
Wicked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we've got loads to do. But this is the point, Jimmy. We can't give away too much, can we? Of course, because you've got to release it and get paid.
Well, I won't be holding my breath for that one, will I?
But that's the point. Go for it, man.
What?
No, I was saying you got to save some shots, like, because it sounds pretty good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I really like it.
Yeah, man.
But that's the point. It is the album of 15 tracks is really eclectic, and I think if you were just to hear Black Hero's 3 tracks, you wouldn't automatically assume that it was one artist that was, because your style is so different. I mean, like that last track that we heard, I mean, that's performed by Earl, you know, and Earl does his rap thing. And then the other one, like I'm Alright Jack, is a pretty slow tempoed song, but Hero's lyrics and his vocals work really well on both. So again, I'm not blowing smoke up your backside, but it's pretty damn good.
He is.
I just want a place to stay when I go to Kingston, that's all.
The thing about I'm Alright Jack, I think, is the hymn like quality of it. I think is really, really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
Two sets of footprints in the sand, wicked line.
You guys are writers, so you really.
No, this is the other thing, is what I was going to say about the varied sound and yourself, Black Hero, is your album, Immortal Stepper, right? That is such a mixed album, you know, like with the covers that you got on there and everything. Like it just takes you on a journey. The whole album does, man. It's a really, really interesting album. And the guys have actually heard it. They heard it one day when we went to London. I think when we went to go and do Rodigan. I played it in the car on the way down, and you know, it's a wicked album, man. Really, something to be proud of.
Yeah, and that the difference in the tracks and the way it is just shows you your diversity, the fact that, you know, and that speaks of longevity as well, because, you know, you can do stuff over any style of reggae, and that to me shows that you'll be here for a while.
Hey, bless it, yo. Thanks. This you wouldn't understand, like, people wouldn't even know, just like a little encouragement really sweetens the labor. So this, like, blessings. There's no words I can say right now. Like, this just makes me want to go even better and harder. Or as you say, Bigga Baggariddim. So that's why I go bigger and better, you know?
Go, sir.
Well, what we've got coming up is we've asked Hero for a UB40 track. We asked him for a few tracks that inspired him, which in themselves were two pretty different songs, which we'll come to. We've asked him for an inspirational song from, you know, when he was growing up, you know, one of the old reggae artists. But what I'd like to do, if Matty's got it lined up, is I think it'd be great to play another track from Hero's album, if you've got one to hand, and then we'll go into the influence stuff, because for me it all really seems to sit, like how eclectic his upbringing around music has been to what we actually hear today. So is that an order in which we can do it, Matt?
Yeah, of course, man. There's what we'll line up next is the opening track to the album, Feet Don't Fail, which is another. Again, I think it's wicked, man. Absolutely wicked.
I think you gathered by now that my son is a fan, Hero.
Yeah. Like, I was listening and like hearing him say it, I'm like, wow, it's like, these are songs that, you know, I'm like, man, is it mixed right? Is it good? Is it, but to hear it just like love, you wouldn't even understand. There's no massive respect.
All right, man. Let's roll it.
Roll it.
I see them lying there to eat up our flesh. Black hero. I said I never born for fight against friends or family. I come to shed some light on the system's fallacies. The way I man proceed, be an example and set the lead. So with the music bus we take the streets, words I left the beat, and I say, lo and behold, they try to stay in your soul. Them leave the people for last, they run guns at the goal. Enough underline issues, but a time for we be bold. Time for sink it, not them all. So we come for take control. Feet don't fail me now. Oh, as I trot along, battles just begun. I know it's far from one, but they got nowhere to run. Nowhere to run. Where I man go. When your army comes. Hey, now to my people, in this ya baba. Go get your suit, prepare your armor. No matter what field I just ask for, something for stand for. Or else everything I fall for, no falter. God, when we dash the water, all demon I feel run them off his scatter. Oh yeah, I said the system is a trick then. Come on quick, go march, we fix them. Oh, I say feet don't fail me now. Oh, as I trot along, yeah, battles just begun. Yeah, I know it's far from one, but they got nowhere to run. Nowhere to run. Where I man go. Yeah, when your army comes. Hey, I watch I know it make haste. No, tarrying, my feet. Oh, Jah, carry them, be my defense against any offense, against anyone who try your praise, my friends, I make haste. No, tarrying, my feet. Oh, Jah, carry them, be my defense against every offense, against anyone. Whoa, oh, I said feet don't fail me now. Oh, as I trot along, yeah, I said the battle's just begun. I'm far from one, but they got nowhere to run. Nowhere to run. Where I man go. Oh, when your army comes. I said I never born for fight against friends or family. I come to shed some light on the system's fallacies. The way I man proceed, be an example and set the lead. So with the music, boss we take the streets. Words I left the beats and I say, lo and behold, they try to stay in your soul. Them leave the people feel lost and run go to the goal. Enough other line misused, but a time for we be bold. Time for sinking at the mall, so we come for take control. Feet don't fail me now. Oh, as I trot along, yeah, I said the battle's just begun. So I said the far from one, but they got nowhere to run, nowhere to run. I'm on go. When your army comes. Hey, oh I say, feet don't fail me now. Oh, as I trot along. Oh yeah. Oh God, I know it. Oh, be a light unto my way. Almost die. Oh yeah. Oh, let's be free. Oh, let's vibe. Let's be. Let my feet walk another day. Oh, in another way. Oh yeah.
I hear an 80s vibe coming out on that one, like Rumours backing tracks, back in the day. That's what that reminds me of.
What do you
think? Before you were born, Black Hero, still then.
What did you say? Like Rumours?
Yeah, that's
Rumours of War.
Yeah. Which was John Olds, I think.
Who?
Rumours thing. Was it John Olds who did that?
Rumours of War. It's Gregory, isn't it?
Gregory Isaacs.
Gregory Isaacs.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one.
Robin, that's another one for this album that you're going to create. You know, the one we keep talking about every week.
What's that?
We keep talking every week. We keep adding tracks, don't we, to this imaginary album that's going to be released at some point. You know, Fatty and all the rest of them. What about that Gregory number? You play the music, and Hero comes in and does the vocals. Get it written down, somebody.
Let's break the record. Not even 4. Let's go for more. Like, come on.
Awesome. What do you think, Gilly? That track up your street, man?
That track is just dope, mate. That's the first time I heard that. You know what I mean? It's dope. Sell off, man. Nothing no wrong.
Yo, he's like James Bond.
Oh,
that's not how I would have put it.
So we asked Hero for a couple of tracks of UB40 that had inspired him, and again, you know, just as we're experiencing, it's quite different. In fact, one of them was Food for Thought, which he alluded to earlier, but the other one was Tears from My Eyes.
I've been asking to put Tears from My Eyes back in the set for how many years now? Tears from My Eyes is one of my favourite tracks.
It's been a long time missing. It's been a long time missing.
We need to put it back in the set.
The thing is, I like the tracks.
It has, you really have.
Something, you guys write it. I like the more poetic tracks. Like these tracks that I selected are all like poetry, like, but they have meaning, you know. But just the things you're using to explain the things, like as I said, it's like Superstition and those songs. Like if you're not paying attention, you're not gonna know what you're talking about. So I really like those songs for the depth of. You didn't have to say Ivory Madonna, didn't say Biting the Dust, but I know exactly. We're talking about bones creeping, like stuff like that. Like is like the candy. You have to find the candy in the medicine, or like that needle in the haystack. If you don't know, you just don't know.
That's a really interesting comment, because Robin, I don't know what you wrote Food for Thought. I take it. Yeah. I'm not sure. Like, you know, this might sound a little bit rude, but I'm not sure how many people would actually know what that song's about. You know, like Jimmy said earlier, Pete's got a good beat, people sing along to it, and do they really take in what the song is about, and do they really know what it's about? What do you think?
I think a great many people listen to our songs and have no idea what the songs are about, you know. I mean, obviously, when it's a love song, it's obvious, but there are many songs like Jimmy was talking about earlier. You know, the iron fist in the velvet glove. You know, people get lulled by the music, and they don't necessarily listen to the lyrical content. They might know the odd line, but they don't really know what the song's about. And to find out that Food for Thought is actually about starvation and the hypocrisy of Christmas, you know, is yeah, it's a shock for a lot of people, I think, you know. But that's the case with all of our music. Sorry, Hero?
No, I was saying, like, that was it for me too, like actually going in, because anytime I discover artists, don't matter. I do the research. So it's like when I realized that the mainstream songs that they push for UB40 are just the love songs, just like everybody else. Like Marvin Gaye has a lot of deep songs, but they only push the love song. So when I get deeper into UB40, I realize this is heavy political, like reality, like economics, like things of like racism, things of like classism, things that there's just so much things in it that I'm just like, wow, like I don't think people understand any of this that's going on. Like, but I love it because it's like, it's refreshing, because sometimes you just want to sit down and make music that makes you feel happy and forget about what's happening. But I really want people to remember what's happening. Like, this is happening, and to know it was happening in 1978 and it's still happening in 2020. That's kind of mind blowing, you see me? So
yeah.
That for me, that was what happened.
And with all those amazing political songs that UB40 have penned and released, we've decided to play Tears from My Eyes, which is a love song cover. So do you want to play that, Maxie?
a song that we never wrote.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. But this was another favourite, obviously. Here we go.
Tears from my eyes keep on falling, 'cause you are leaving, even with another. Things that we've done together, I'll always remember. You with another, baby. Tears from my eyes keep on falling, you are leaving, even with another. The things that we've done together, I'll always remember. You with another, baby. I've done everything one man can do, girl. Said every word one man can say. Gone astray, girl. I'm missing you from day to day. Tears from my eyes keep on falling, 'cause you are leaving, even with another. The things that we've done together, I'll always remember. We've
That is a very sweet tune, isn't it? You know. I mean, I think there's two different types of poetry going on here. I mean, when we talk about, say, Food for Thought, there's quite a deep message coming out in Food for Thought. But then you've got there's the poetry in the lyrics of Tears from My Eyes, which are really quite beautiful words. But they're the poetry of the common man, if you like. What was Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, you know. They're just beautiful words, and they're not sophisticated or deep, but they're just the poetry that everybody can understand, you know. And I think Tears from My Eyes is a good example of that.
You think that Jimmy, is because these songs were written like in simpler times by probably by very much working class people, you know?
Yeah, I think it's unsophisticated, but I think in a good way, because the original meaning of the word sophistication was a corruption of normality, a corruption of the norm. So I think sometimes things can become over sophisticated, and the simplicity of those kind of really nice love songs that you know aren't that flow really nicely and can make you cry. I think there's something very special about those kind of songs. Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain is a perfect example of that. One of the most beautiful songs ever written, one of my favourite songs. And it's not.
There you go. I mean, you're talking about, I mean, there is a skill in doing that. There's a great skill in writing simply, in saying things in a simple way that people can understand, and it gets straight to you. And that is a great skill. And Blue Eyes is a Willie Nelson song, you know.
Yeah,
I mean, Willie Nelson, there is no better songwriter than Willie Nelson. He writes simple lyrics. They're clear and simple. There's nothing, there's nothing complicated, but they're very clever.
I wonder about that. I don't know if they're more heartfelt than clever in the end, you know. I don't think that they have to labour over those kind of things too much, you know.
I don't know. I think they work just as hard as anybody else writing lyrics. I think it is a great skill to do that. Bruce Springsteen is another one that can do it. You know, he writes like the common man speaks, and that is a great skill. I've always struggled at it myself.
Yeah.
You want to find that ground where the music is just easily digested by everyone. You know what I mean? Like that's the best point. I think for a writer, like less is more. Like, you see me? Like that's
yeah, and it's one of the things that country singers, country writers can do. Country music writers, they write simple lyrics, but they express beautifully, and that's not an easy thing to do. And I can't remember who did the original Tears from My Eyes. The reggae version that we were covering was from the 70s, and it was Teddy somebody. I don't know if you remember, Gilly.
Sorry?
The original Tears from My Eyes.
The original Tears from My Eyes. I think it was Teddy somebody. I just can't remember.
Maybe somebody on the app might be able to help us out.
No doubt they'll be on there like grease lightning. But it was Teddy somebody that wrote it that sang it in the 70s. But I don't know whether his is the original. It could well be a country song for all I know.
I love the way you put me on the spot then, Robin.
I just you talk too much. I was trying to show.
Oh no! I just thought it was, great improvisation. I couldn't help you there, mate. Sorry.
We thought you were still having a nap.
When you talk about simplicity of lyrics, it also applies to reggae music as well. It's accessible because there's that simplicity to what reggae musicians do. They're obviously very talented musicians, and what they're doing is they're focusing all their talent down into very, very simple things. But simple doesn't mean easy. That's the thing.
Right.
People think simple is easy, and it's not easy at all.
Teddy Davis, I think, is the guy you're referring to.
Davis. Well done.
There you go.
But
I was about to say that as well.
Did you Google that, or was that somebody in the family?
Yeah, no, it was Gilly who texted on the app.
Okay.
No, it was Lee Dan actually. But somebody else has put Dobby Dobson. Robin, if that rings any bells.
I know Dobby Dobson. Yeah, of course.
Pendergrass, if that's how you pronounce it. I don't know.
Teddy Pendergrass. No,
Teddy
right.
Pendergrass.
Teddy Pendergrass, not
Really?
He didn't do Tears from My Eyes.
No.
I mean, but Ken Booth did a song called Tears from My Eyes, but it's a different song, you know.
We've got another answer in. Apparently, it was written by John Anderson and released by Teddy in 1978. Apparently,
I told you, I knew it was 70s and I knew it was Teddy somebody, but is that the original version?
well, I don't know if it's the original. No.
Neither do I.
Well, that's the next question, but that's from somebody.
So many times we've, sorry, Paul, but so many times we've covered
Teddy who?
Teddy Davis.
Okay, cool.
But so many times we've covered for the Labour of Love series, we've covered a reggae song that is a cover itself, you know, and sometimes we don't know that until we've recorded it and we look for publishing reasons and we find out that it was written by an American artist, you know, like Red Red Wine was, you know, a Neil Diamond song.
How many people, Robin, do we see on YouTube these days where they're covering your version of Red Red Wine in a reggae style that you covered from Tony Tribe, for example, who covered it from Neil Diamond, and I think the jury's out as to whether or not he actually wrote it in the first place.
Yeah, right. And I don't think Tony Tribe was covering Neil Diamond's version anyway.
Because there's a whole generation that doesn't know, because I just found out just now. I thought Red Red Wine was originally by you. Exactly.
But it Jimmy James and the Vagabonds did a version of it before Tony Tribe did, you know, so he may well have been covering Jimmy James's version and not known about, you know, what's his name? The American guy. What did
Neil Diamond.
Neil Diamond.
Apparently, even Neil Diamond does a reggae version of it now.
A really bad one, yeah, where he takes the.
Oh yeah.
I guess that's why they say nothing new under the sun. Like, it's just been traveling for ages. Like,
yeah,
you know, it's a UB40 to me still. I don't know. Like, I don't.
Well, that's.
I don't think you can tell my mother differently. Like, she'll say no, UB40. No.
Well, that's the great joy of doing a cover is that if you do it good enough, it becomes your tune. You know, even though lots of people know that those Labour of Love tunes aren't ours, of course. It's an album of covers, but people still think of those songs as our songs because we've done them and we made them even more successful probably than the original version was, you know.
Even other songs like Falling in Love.
No, go ahead.
Can't Help Falling in Love. The only time that got to #1 was with us. Even Elvis's version never got to #1. or Andy Williams, you know, there's lots of people done that song, but nobody had a #1 with it until we did.
Yeah, I think people are always shocked. Like even tracks like, perhaps more for my generation, think songs like Here I Am Baby or The Way You Do the Things You Do, for example.
Here I Am Baby is an Al Green song.
Homely Girl, Homely Girl is one of y'all tracks though, right?
Sorry?
Homely Girl.
The Shy Lights.
Shy Lights, yeah.
You see, Black Hero sat there learning now what Labour of Love's all about.
Homely Girl is originally a 60s song by the Shy Lights.
Cherry O Baby, you know, they're all the Labour of Love tracks, which is 4 albums, were all covers what these guys listened to growing up, you know.
Cherry O Baby, Eric Donaldson.
Yeah,
and the Rolling Stones. For God's sake.
Did you ever hear the Rolling Stones version of Cherry O Baby?
Yeah, I went like that.
I think I have in passing. That's crazy. I need to go look that up.
Research.
Yo, Matt, you need to be sending me some music to study, yo. But I mean, it's pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie, like.
But the interesting thing is, which kind of leads me on to a question that I had for you, Hero, about the people you were listening to growing up. Back in the mid to late 90s, maybe 97, 98, UB40 embarked on a project where they released a trilogy of albums. So not too dissimilar to what's going on now, but they asked the fathers of reggae, you know, people like John Holt and Winston Groovy and, I mean, God, Robbie, who else was on there? I mean, some real big names.
Gregory was on there.
Big names. Was Dennis Brown on? I can't remember.
No, he'd passed.
Dennis had passed.
Yeah. Mighty Diamonds.
So the band invited these guys on to cover
the foundation
songs that UB40 had written. So that one's called The Father's Album. And for anybody who's listening, who's not familiar with that album, I suggest after this you go and download it because it's amazing. And as an additional part of that, they released something called the Dancehall Album, where they invited people like Beanie Man and Lady Saw, Don U, people who were really up and coming at that time, to come and join. So that's an album called the Dancehall Album. So again, that's got a completely different flavour. And again, it's kind of, Robin, not too dissimilar to this Bigga Baggariddim, like a mix of both of those albums put together in a sense.
Yeah, well, we've always enjoyed doing that because, it just kind of shows people where we're coming from and what we're into, and just showing where the music's coming from, and the fact that we're not just about making pop songs, that we like having a go at everything. We like a bit of dancehall, we like a bit of DJing, we like a bit of love songs, we like a bit of everything, And
also, there's nothing more satisfying than hearing your words and your tune coming out the mouth of your hero.
Yeah, when we did the Father's album, that was
amazing.
That was the most enjoyable album I've ever worked on, because that was literally our gods were singing our songs. The guys that made us want to play reggae, the guys that made us want to be in a reggae band, people like Alton Ellis, the Mighty Diamonds, Ken Booth, all these guys who are the fathers of reggae. Freddie McGregor. All these people.
Supposed to be like surreal.
Oh, it was just incredible, man. When Freddie actually was in the UK and he was touring, and he came into our studio and said, "Who picked this song for me?" And I thought he was going to tell me it was rubbish, and I said, "I did." And he said, "My song." Just loved it, and it was just brilliant. You can't beat that feeling, having your heroes singing your songs back to you. That was just,
it was just, I mean,
greatest buzz.
Many people aren't going to be in a position for that, and we were just so lucky to be able to do that. I'll never forget that time. It was great.
I would love to do a Father's too, but we got to hurry up because they're getting old now,
Well, yeah.
They're growing. They're getting.
Hero, who were you listening to, Hero, when you were growing up? I mean, were you listening to some of these older guys as well, like the fathers of reggae, or was it sort of the Beanie Man types?
No, even before that, we had because even though my parents are Christians and stuff, as I said, they had a wide taste of music, and my mom was a singer in church, so she just liked good secular music. So to be honest, I was mostly listening to, I would say, R&B music at that time and jazz and soul. So a lot of James Brown, a lot of stuff like that. But then I got into Black Box and then Bunny Wailer and then the whole Scatterlights. So there was just this weird thing. I was just jumping through eras as a young youth. I was just like, "Oh, what's that over there? Oh, that's cool, the Mighty Diamonds." And I jump over here and find out, "Oh, I look at Kirk Franklin, I would jump over here. Oh man, Sam Cooke." So for me, I was like a kid in a playground. So it was very wide. I can't even pinpoint because, Jamaica already, even Celine Dion play out here every day. You know what I mean? So all these different things just in passing the shops, passing the salon or the barber shop, you're just hearing people, big man, big woman music. So it's definitely. But I think this song that really stuck with me from then to now was Fig Tree. I couldn't get over just how accurate this song was, how I was feeling at the time, how do you write a song like this? You know what I mean? So Bunny Wailer kind of blow my mind with that song.
That's the song that influenced you. That song Fig Tree by Bunny Wailer was one that you chose that we're going to play. That you felt that really had an important part in your makeup of music.
Yeah, it's like, imagine hearing a sound from your like 8 and then hearing it again as a teenager, but still not knowing what it is, then growing older now and working with Bunny Wailer and touring with him and doing music with him, and then finding out, oh, it was you. And then now listening to the song even now. So the influence of the song is actually more now than then, because I never was paying it much mind. But when it started to really connect, I'm realizing, oh, but this is the song I've been hunting for from I was a child. You know what I mean? Not knowing it was him, and then hearing about the song, I'm like, this is Bunny Wailer, like, this is crazy. Like, I thought this was like an international artist, like, you know, somebody that was just like, just not Jamaican, like, he just sing too well. It just, that's me and that song. That's a
classic. Should we listen to it? Yeah.
That's the Black Art album, innit?
Yeah, then that led me into the whole album, which was like, I'm not sure if like Jamaica really like respects the foundation, because an album like that deserves like so much,
the classic,
so much like love, you know what I mean? Like
recognition.
It's in my record collection.
Yeah, and mine.
Yeah. Standout album from Jamaica. It has to.
I've still got the vinyl, man.
Straight. That's supposed to work like billions right now, like, because I don't even have one. I don't think anybody has that like that. Just it's like most of a handful of people. Like, that album is great.
Play it.
Yeah, man.
Do it.
Never knew that the time would come when every man's got to find where he does come from. Never knew that the time would come when every pig must find its big tree. Jump, little pigs, into your trees and say you are free. Say you are free. Say you are free. I've been rebuked and I've been scorned, rejected of men. Now I'm born to live in you. So won't you two, my loved ones, bring you wine with me? Let's live in love, in peace and harmony, and say we are free. Say we are free. Say we are free. In my big tree, there I wanna be, so safe and free. In my big tree, there I long to be, from all misery. In my big tree, there I wanna be, so safe and free. In my big tree, there I long to be, from all misery. Yeah, 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 yeah. Now every man is a man and every mickle make a muckle. Don't freeze some and put some in a shekel. For now is the time and the time is now, when we should live like in the days of old, when every sheep had their fold. To say they are free, say they are free. To say they are free. In my big tree, there I wanna be, so safe and free. In my big tree, there I long to be, from all misery. In my big tree, there I wanna be, so safe and free. In my big tree, there I long to be, from all misery. In my big tree, there I wanna be, so safe and free.
One of the fathers there.
Beautiful.
Would you ever imagine, Robin, that you'd have such a young man, you know, choosing that as a song of influence?
Proper old school,
it makes total sense to me because he's got such eclectic tastes, and he's a student of the music. And if you listen, like he says, he's like a kid in a sweet shop. You know, that's what music's like. If you love music, that's what you do. You listen to everything. You absorb everything. You know, and you don't just listen to what you're given at the time. You go looking for other stuff. And
man.
It doesn't surprise me at all that he's listening to someone like Bunny Wailer, you know?
Yeah, Bunny Wailer's foundation, man.
An originator. He's one of the fathers of reggae, without a doubt.
And there's that sweetness in there as well. Very, very sweet.
Yeah.
Really people sweet. Don't realise the influence and the importance of him from the Wailers, you know, the original sound of the Wailers. Him and Peter Tosh were very important to the original sound of the Wailers, you know, which is why they were called the Wailers, after Bunny, not after Bob.
Yeah.
I remember being a little boy, man, and they came on their old grey whistle chest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Did you see that? Oh, mate, wicked.
Stir It Up, they were singing.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
One of the tunes.
Fantastic. Yeah. I couldn't believe that they were on BBC Two on the TV.
I know.
I was beside myself with joy.
You guys find yourselves? Do you find yourselves going back on YouTube and stuff now and looking for those old performances and sort of reliving them?
All the time, yeah.
Yeah.
The funny thing about that lyric of Bunny's is that it shows you the influence of Scotland in Jamaica, because that line, "Every mickle makes a muckle," which is a Scottish saying. Hilarious, man.
Wow. I don't know
that one in for you, hero.
Take, man. Like, are you serious? What more am I going to learn? Like, we go again. Hold on. Because I have to make sure that the next time I do in Jamaica, I need to know this. Go again. That's bad.
Yeah, man.
It comes from Scotland?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many Scottish names in Jamaica. There's lots and lots of Scottish names. Earl, Falconer, that's about as Scottish as it gets, you know. It's
there's a hell of a lot of Campbells as well.
Campbell's, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, man, Campbell's is everywhere.
Fucking everywhere we know.
Yeah.
And Gordon's.
Yeah, Mackenzie's, Mackintosh.
Yeah, Mackintosh, as I was going to say. That's
Mackintosh, Mackenzie's, Fraser.
I really look at it. These are Scottish names. Oh, shit.
All Scottish names, yeah. Every mickle macamuckle.
Hey.
Wow.
Hey, the new.
Wow, that's crazy. I've been hearing this from man. This is like older than me, and it comes from. That's why I guess they say Jamaica out of many one people for real. Like many people. Like
what's the hottest pepper in Jamaica? A Scotch bonnet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow. Yo, that's crazy. I really appreciate this reasoning. Like I'm learning a lot.
Hero, what have you got? What have you got going on yourself at the moment? Then, obviously, it's a bit of a difficult time at the moment. But what did you have planned for the rest of this year? Moving on into next year, are you touring? Can people catch new music?
In this pandemic, as I like to call it right now, going on this economical war, I feel like actually I can't believe I'm saying this. Things have actually picked up steam for me. I think people have actually started to take notice of what's happening in the world, because my music is directly tied to what is happening. So I've seen a growth in everything. So it just gave me more of an energy to just, all right, let me step up my output of music. So right now, I just have tons of music coming out. Like from the beginning of the year, we just drop video after video after video, and I've seen the fan base just expand. For now, what we've done, because we were supposed to go to Europe and Brazil and Martinique this year for the first time, me being there. So, but what we ended up doing was doing like virtual shows. So I'll be touring virtually. Let's just say that. So Estrada will be doing a virtual show there, and also I think Jam and the next one. Not sure right now. So only virtual touring is happening right now for the Jamaican artists.
We're looking at doing the same thing this year.
Straight. Yeah. So, and I think it's actually pretty cool for now, because I honestly think the world was going very fast paced. And honestly, I think, why didn't we have hand sanitizers before we got into food establishments? Like, I'm like, why didn't we think so I think it's a good period of us understanding that there were some things we needed to stop doing, some things we needed to start doing. And this way, with this like online thing, is like you can reach more. Like, let's say you were doing, well, you guys are UB40, so I can't use you guys do arenas and stadiums and whatnot. But if I was gonna keep a show, the usual 1,000, 1,500 venue or 800 venue, online now, once you partner with the right person, you could reach 50,000 people. That's more than any one stadium like that's on an average size. So it's like you can actually reach beyond a certain level now. And based off the donations and the stuff like that, you can still make your money. So I think right now it just forces us to partner up and collaborate and have moments like this, and bridge the gaps to and learn, and you know what I mean. So yeah, there's more music, more connecting, more virtual shows, and just staying safe most of all, like, which I want everybody to do too.
This is going out on the UB40 app, and you're getting some really cool comments. So I think you're going to pick up a few new fans who are going to be looking out for you moving forward. So for sure.
Sure, I'm looking forward to this album. Are you going to sneak peek and tell me when it's coming, or should I just be surprised?
You don't have a release date, do we yet, Matt?
He'll get his own copy though.
Definitely this year, man. 100% this year.
That's good.
Well, in the meantime, though, everybody.
I'll send you your mixes anyway, Hero.
Yeah,
Matt. Please, right now. But they sound pretty good. Like, I can't wait to hear the whole album too. Like,
well, in the meantime, obviously there was For the Many, UB40's last release, and then the dub album, which got released, and you've got a track. That's when we first, a lot of people first heard your name, Hero, and I think Matty's got that lined up as well. Is that right, Matt?
Yeah, man, got the dub track there.
To All Right with Pablo as well.
Yeah.
Pablo Ryder.
Yeah.
He was on the original Baggariddim.
Oh, straight.
Yeah, man. From Birmingham.
Here we go.
Hey, Mr. MP, how you going, so? You don't know, so your job is to feed the people. How come you feed off of the people? So last year, I know your time coming around where I have some questions for the answer, You got to a rich man.
pure 70s.
Yeah, it's proper old school, that is.
Old school dub, man.
It's a great album. It's a great album. That's probably my most played album this year by UB4.
Sounds like Black Ark in dub, doesn't it?
Cleaning friendly, like spring cleaning, washing the plates, like just turn the whole album on and you're just doing stuff. Like, you know, that type of music, like it just really nice. I did like it, man. I love that album.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah. How does it make you feel when somebody says that? Yeah, we like cleaning our house to that.
Oh, that's exactly what you want, because music is the background to your life, isn't it? You know, you have different types of music for different things, and you know that's what music does. It's there to enhance your life. You know,
it's true.
Even when you're cleaning.
It's true.
Or cooking, or like, you know what I mean?
Or anything, yeah.
I cooked to that album.
So we got any more questions? Because I think what we're going to do is we've got one more track to play. But you know, if anybody's got any questions for Hero, or you know, if Hero's got any questions for anybody else, then fire away.
Are we talking to us, or are we talking to the people watching on?
No, talking to you, Jimmy.
I want to know when we're going to meet up, a Black Hero. When we're going to meet up, actually in person.
I'm thinking, it's definitely going to be on a tour for sure. So that's going to be the first time we meet. I know it's going to be on some show somewhere in a studio or like something like that. I know for a fact. Like I've dreamed it, so it's going to happen.
I'm looking forward to you coming to England at some point, and we'll take you out in Birmingham.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the calls from England, like to just be in England right now, everybody's like calling. So I just feel like I have to come. Like at this point, I feel like I need to like live out there for a year or something. The music speaks to me, the space, like the rebellion from before I was here till now, like that whole energy is just different. Yeah, I'd love to experience England. So you guys will have to take me around to the best food spots. You gotta show me all the lit stuff.
It would be a pleasure to do that. We'll do that anytime you want.
All right. What's up, Jimmy?
I was just wanting to say, nothing to do with what we're actually doing, but because I was talking about doing virtual touring, people have already been asking about what's happening with the British tour online. So when I was talking about doing virtual touring, I was talking about elsewhere in the world, because we can't travel, because we can't go to other countries. We're looking at the idea of doing virtual touring of maybe the States or, you know, other places. But the UK tour, as far as I know, is still going ahead. But, you know, who knows what's going to happen with this government we got.
Yeah. They haven't got a clue, and as a result, neither have we.
If they haven't got a clue, what chance do we have, you know?
Exactly, yeah. Mm-mm.
But as far as we're concerned, it's still going to happen.
Okay.
It's a big tour. It's a big tour throughout December, and you know, providing that goes ahead, and fingers crossed it will. You know, what a great time, Hero, for you to jump on a flight and come across, and you know.
Might be an idea, you never know.
Yeah.
Two and two.
Stuff that they see they doing, it's not just pushing this thing up in your nose. That's crazy,
And he wants to go to some hot food spots as well, Robin, so he could come to Bradford for a curry, you know, capital of curry and all that.
Why would you want to go to Bradford for a curry?
Don't be ridiculous.
Stupid idea.
Obviously, becoming
to Bradford.
the home of the hot curry.
Don't give me that.
The home of the Balti.
Yeah, Lady Punk Road.
Well, you know, Black Hero, if we do find ourselves in the same room and there's a stage close, we're going to drag you up on it. You know that.
All right, so I need to be ready. I need to be like prepared.
You better be ready, yeah.
It's Gilly, man. Gilly thought he was just coming to a gig, and he ended up doing a tour with us.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Is that not
That's
right?
what happened, Gilly?
You're muted, Gilly. Gilly, unmute yourself.
Millie has been like real James. Gilly has been real like James Bond.
Yeah, except James Bond knows what to do with technology.
Yo, when this man said he wants to go to the hot food shop, you know, I don't think he means fish and chips, you know, bro.
No, I don't.
You know what I mean? I think a yard food he might talk about. You know? Not true hero. Yard food you talk about. You know what fish and chips when you come here.
the real food, you know?
Same. Me have you, man. I watch no face.
All right. You know what say you got this. All right.
Say the more.
Good stuff.
This
So
this was really awesome. Thanks for having me, yo.
well, we got one more track, I think, Matty, before we all disappear, just to finish things off.
Yeah, man.
Turned into another 2-hour show again.
Yeah, as always. People start feeling shortchanged if we don't do 2 hours.
Well, we're just going to lead out with Black Hero's version of Superstition.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Okay.
Here we go.
Ladder's about to fall. Superstition now, yeah. Very superstition. Writings on the wall. Very superstition. The ladder's about to fall. Yeah. I said 13 more, don't baby. Broke that looking glass. Oh, no. 7 years of bad life. The good things in your back. Right. When you believe in things that you don't understand, make you a suffer. Superstition ain't the way. I said very superstition. Wash your face and hands. I said wash now. I said rid me of the problems. Oh, do all that you can now. I said keep me in a daydream. Keep me going strong. I said keep it now. You don't wanna save me. Why you don't wanna save me, brother man? When I said sad is my song. I said sad is my song. When you believe in things that you don't understand, then you will suffer. Superstition ain't the way. Why? No. Superstition I said when you believe in things that you don't understand, then you will suffer. It's superstition, yeah. Meaning of life is supermission, that's a given. Yeah, it's superstition, alien and supervision. Third eye supervisions, hieroglyphics, pyramids, and metaphysics, and domatic. Tell me within, nothing with no without. Cancel every doubt. Then you know the suffering I forgot down. Oh, the sea steam, yes, it's time to come undone. That is what we say. Hey, there's no the God is in eye, the eye is in Jah. And what you mean I walk with Jah? And what you mean what you believe in? I wanna know what you believe in this way they live in. Yes, you got life, but one day you believe in. Under a system, economy, monopolies, they want for Pasco. Put every man in prisons, easy man in schisms. Reptilian skins are change. Hope you believe for a change. And one day it'll come, one day it'll come. A black hero will come, the new wave it'll come. A bus it'll come. And you believe in things that you don't understand, where you will suffer. Superstition ain't the way. No, it ain't the way. I said no, it ain't the way. No, that there's a way. You gotta understand what you believe in, or you gon' suffer, man, brother, man, sister.
wicked brass. Wicked brass.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. Really enjoyed that. That was great.
You kept the exact same brass riff as well.
Blessing.
The app's going mad. I'm going to read you some of the feedback. You've got, you know, people saying that they're going to go and download your album straight away. So you've got a lot of new fans. You've got somebody who's saying it's sick and super bad, which I think means it's really good. You know, people are dancing on the couch and you know, really loving it. Yes, woo, you know, brilliant, wicked, man. So awesome.
That was a great end to the session. That was really good track.
Yeah, man.
To be that good.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
So
I heard that before. Matty, you played that to me on the bus, man. That's bad. Dirty. Sell off again. Sell off.
all right, guys. Well, I guess that's a wrap. So look, thanks, Black Hero. Everybody's really enjoyed having you here. So thank you for your time.
Been a pleasure.
And we'll definitely make a show happen, Black Hero. It's got to happen, man.
All right, cool.
Definitely,
Like, thanks for having me again. Bless up to everybody on the app. Like, just if you want to know more, just stay tuned. They got you. You be party.
Yeah, and people can reach out to you on Twitter as well.
Yeah, any platform. Like, I have taken over. Like, I'm very on point with that now because I feel like, well, if you followed me on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, you must really want to connect with me. So I'm there to talk anytime. Like, I'm just a DM away.
Wicked. Thanks, everybody. Thanks to Robin, Jimmy, Gilly, Matt. Thanks, guys. And next week, we're hoping to get Winston Francis next week, all being well. If not, we'll do something a bit different. And then also, we started working with Normie and Yoris on the Deep Into the Archives 4.
Yeah. Wicked.
So keep tuned, guys. Everybody.
All right, see you later, guys.
Bye-bye. Tatty bye.
Safe.
See you later.
See you guys.